Thanks, Matt. Yes, I'm live at the scene of a brutal murder of a researcher. Names of the researcher and accused are yet to be released. It is believed that earlier this morning the researcher arrived at the premises of the accused for a pre-arranged interview for an existing study at 9 a.m. At present, we are unaware of the full details of the study or what happened following the researcher's arrival, but we do know that the neighbour heard loud screams and contacted the police. The police arrived at the scene approximately 15 minutes later to find the accused wielding a bloodied knife in the front yard. The police detained the accused and upon entering the premises found the bloody body of the researcher in the front room. It is, however, unknown to what triggered the events of today, but neighbours have stated that the accused does have a long history of physical and psychological issues. It is unknown to what extent the victim was aware of the history of the accused. It is believed that a thorough risk assessment during the time of ethical approval for the study was not adequately performed. We have been advised by a member of the local ethics board that the ethical applications are assessed by a National Statement of Ethical Conduct in Human Research. CQU today obtained a copy of the National Statement and Section 2.1 of the National Statement on Ethical Conduct in Human Research explicitly details assessment of risk. The National Guideline defines risk as a potential for harm, discomfort, or inconvenience, the likelihood that a harm will occur, and the severity of the harm, including its consequences. Obviously, identification of risk to the researcher was not identified. This shocking event could have been avoided if more attention was paid to the ethical guidelines and risks were adequately identified, gauged, the probability and severity, assessment of the extent to how risk could have been minimalised and managed. If adequately done, this sad result would not have occurred. It is safe to say that the justification of risk did not outweigh the benefit of this research. Now, this point also relates to Section 1.6 of the National Statement. Section 1.6 states, the likely benefit of the research must justify any risk or harm or discomfort to participants. The likely benefit may be to the participants, to the wider community, or to both. Obviously, the murdered researcher and her family attain the most harm in this situation. But this crime has also hurt the accused. This man's life has now taken a drastic deviation, and also the community that now has to live with the consequences of the terrible outcome. A question being asked now is, where does the responsibility of this heinous crime lie? Is it with the primary researcher, who should have correctly identified all possible risks, or the ethics board, who ultimately approved the said research? Back to you, Matt.